Hare Krishna, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Our program is in celebration of Lord Nityananda, whose appearance date is today. And our class tonight will be by His Grace Nashvin Prabhu. And it's a continuation of the discourse that was held at midday today. Nashvin Prabhu is a senior member of the Shri Shri Radha Radhanath congregation who uses his IT skills to serve in various capacities on the audiovisual team, the service engagement team, with the Bhakti Yoga Society and Bhakti Theatre. And with his wealth of experience and talent, he's prepared a presentation on the glories of Lord Nityananda tonight. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you for everyone for coming today. It's such an amazing day. I think you can see how amazing it is when you can see the mercy of Lord Nityananda based on who's speaking today. I'm a mercy case. I know all of you are expecting to hear from a senior devotee today, but the mercy of Lord Nityananda, by his mercy and by the prayers and blessings of all of you, perhaps something useful can be said today. I'll just begin by offering some prayers to our spiritual master and the Vaishnavas. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So, yes, thank you again for coming. Just before we begin, is there anyone here for the first time? It's probably unlikely, but is anyone here coming to the temple for the first time today? Or second time or third time? Not you. And have you been coming to the temple for a while, but this is the first time you're coming for this festival, celebrating Lord Nityananda's appearance? Is anyone here for the first time for Lord Nityananda's appearance? Okay, a few. So that's good. So I think we will begin and just, and for everyone else, this is also a refresher on Lord Nityananda's position in our lives. And obviously, there's not going to be too much deep esoteric stuff, just because one reason is I'm not qualified to know all those things. And secondly, we don't have to know, we can appreciate Lord Nityananda in our lives in a very practical way. And that's what I'll try and emphasize in this class today, in this discussion. So, before we begin talking about Lord Nityananda, I think it's appropriate for us to hear from Srila Prabhupada about Lord Nityananda, just to set the foundation, and also it guarantees that at least something bona fide will be said today if Srila Prabhupada is doing the talking. So we'll just play a small clip from Prabhupada. His accent is obviously a little bit hard to understand, so the text is also going to be on the screen there.
If we want to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we want to understand Krishna, then we must take shelter of Balaram. Naya Mahatma Balahinena Labha. Balahinena Labha, this Vedic injunction means without the mercy of Balaram, you cannot understand, you cannot realize your spiritual identity. So that Balaram comes as Nityananda Prabhu. Balaram Haira Nitai. Therefore, we must take shelter of Balaram. That is, this song has been sung by Nityanandas Thakur. Nitai pada kamala koti chandra sushi. If you take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu, then we get peace. Koti chandra sushi. It's like in daytime, especially in the summer season, we become very much exasperated. But at night, in the evening, as soon as there is moonshine, we become very much satisfied. All day's labor and fatigue is immediately moved. So, Nitai Pada Kamala, the shade of Nityananda Prabhu, lotus feet, is Koti Chandra Sushikar, as pleasing as 1 crore of moonshine. One moonshine gives us so much pleasure. If we want actually peace of mind, if we actually want to be free from this material fatigueness, then we must take the shelter of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is the strength, spiritual strength, and without spiritual strength you cannot approach Krishna. Nayamatma pravacana, simply by talking nonsense. Nayamatma pravacanena labdha. If you are a good speaker, that does not mean you will understand yourself. Na medhaya, neither by good brain, because you have got very good brain, you will understand Krishna. No. Nayamatma pravacanena labdha, na medhaya, na bahuna sutena. If you think that you are a very good scholar, university degree holder, then you will understand. No, this is not possible. So we must have spiritual strength. That source of spiritual strength is Balaram.
So, yeah, it sounded a bit more unclear than when you tested her. By the way, can everyone hear me clearly on this mic? Does this sound okay? A little bit louder? Maybe mic 6, if you can just raise it a little bit. We used to using the mics on that side, so sorry about that. And just today the settings got changed. Hare Krishna, is this better? Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So, so just to go over what Srila Prabhupada was saying, he's saying that if we want to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna, we have to take shelter of Balaram. And without that, we cannot realize our spiritual identities. And he compares it, the cooling feet of Lord Nityananda, and I think we can identify with that right now with the summer. You know, sometimes we're just waiting for the evening to get relief, especially if there's load shedding and no fans or air cons and stuff. You're just kind of waiting for the evening. So that evening is Lord Nityananda. He's that moonshine in the evening that gives cooling rays to those who are exasperated by the heat of the sun. And if we want to be free from the material fatiguement, as Prabhupada puts it, we must take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu. He is spiritual strength. And Prabhupada saying, if you've got a good brain, so sometimes we're very proud of our intellects in this world. We study in school, we study after school, and sometimes we get good achievements and good marks, good grades and titles. But that good brain doesn't qualify us for spiritual strength. That spiritual strength we get from Lord Nityananda. The university degree and scholarliness on its own cannot give us spiritual strength. That source we must get from Balaram, who is Lord Nityananda. So just to go over this in a little bit more detail, Lord Chaitanya is non-different from Lord Krishna, and he's not an incarnation. It's a little bit of an important point to understand. Like, for example, Lord Ram, who we may be familiar with, is an incarnation. Lord Nrsingadev is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, however, is not an incarnation. He is directly Krishna himself in his most merciful form, combined with the mood of Srimati Radharani, his topmost devotee. So Lord Chaitanya is very, very special form of the Lord. He is directly Krishna himself. Just to fill everyone in, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, God can be known by many names, Jehovah, Allah, etc. But if there's one name that's very special and includes all other names of God, is Krishna. Because Krishna means all attractive. So it includes all other names of God. And it is the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that same Lord Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya. 500 years ago he appeared in this earth. And in a similar way, Lord Krishna's eternal brother, Lord Balaram, he appeared as Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is directly Lord Balaram himself. He's identical to Krishna, but in the mood of a devotee. So this is quite something. Balaram could easily claim that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's nothing wrong in him saying that. It's true. But he prefers to be a devotee. He prefers to have that mood of being a devotee. And therefore, he even he desires to serve the Lord in so many ways that he expands himself for the Lord's pleasure as the Lord's all sorts of paraphernalia. He expands as the Lord's shoes. He expands as the Lord's dham, the holy abode of the Lord. Krishna's flute, which is so dear to him, is an expansion of Balaram. Even his bed, Ananta Shesh, some of us might think, what's the most comfortable bed? If I offered you a bed of snakes, a snake bed to sleep on, would you think it's a bit comfortable? I think we'd be hesitant. But actually, this is the ideal bed. Lord Balaram, because, if anyone has taken care of a sick person, or you'll know about this concept of the bed sore. When you're in bed for too long and without moving, it's actually bad for you. But this bed is a living bed. It's the ideal. Lord Balaram can massage Krishna while he rests. It's a living bed. That's how much Lord Balaram desires to serve Krishna. And he's also the older brother of Krishna, so he's got this kind of protective mood. Like Mother Yashoda will allow Krishna to play somewhere if Balaram is there as well. It's like, okay, Krishna, you can go, but Balaram, you look after him. It's your job to protect Krishna. And he even, Lord Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Nityananda Ram ki jai. He even preceded Krishna in the womb, and just to check out whether the womb was fit for Krishna's appearance, he took birth there first. So Lord Balaram has that older brother mood. And there's a particular word that Hridayananda Maharaj uses, avuncular. And it's related to the word uncle. And there's a Latin word, avunculus, which means maternal uncle. So why am I mentioning all these weird language words in like Latin and English, all these weird languages? Because I'm trying to set a mood for how we should approach this day. This word avuncular means kind and friendly towards a younger or less experienced person. So who is that less experienced younger person? That's us. And perhaps we've had some experience of this phenomenon in this world where sometimes we may be closer to our uncles or aunts than our fathers or mothers. Just because, the father and mother, they can love the child and be friends with the child, but they also have to discipline the child. So sometimes the uncles don't have that responsibility, so you end up having like a very, very close relationship with an uncle or aunt, even closer than with your father or mother. And that is the mood that we can have with Lord Nityananda. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he is the Supreme Father. He is the seed-giving Father of all living entities. And this is not a new concept. Even in the Christian tradition, there's this concept of God as the Father, the Supreme Father. So this is God's brother, which makes him our uncle. So in a way, if you've got like an uncle or aunt that you're very, very close to, even closer than your father or mother, and it's their birthday today, that's the kind of mood of today. It's celebrating that really, really close, intimate person in our life. And just to be careful, like I don't want it to sound mundane. Please don't compare the Lord to an ordinary living entity. He's not your uncle who you can, do things you would with your material uncles. But it's just to set a mood for how we can approach and how we, because Krishna consciousness is all about re-establishing our relationship with the Lord. And that relationship can be a very, very close one. It doesn't have to be, I'm here and God is far away relationship. We can literally have this relationship with the Lord where He is our very, very close friend, like a father and uncle. So establishing that, what's the value or the benefits for us in understanding this position of Lord Nityananda in our lives? And so let's just mention a few benefits of and the potency of Lord Nityananda. So one thing is just by hearing his name. In the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad it's mentioned, if one hears the name of Nityananda, he will certainly attain the lotus feet of Lord Krishna Chandra. And I think by now we've all heard, if you were sleeping before, hear the next 5 seconds. Nityananda. We've all heard it now. So we are certain to attain the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And we shouldn't underestimate, these verses are not exaggerations. These are actual facts. These are scripture given to us by self-realized souls. And not just hearing his names, reciting his names. There's actually a list of 12 names of Lord Nityananda, and it's arranged almost like a song, but I don't know the lyrics, or the melody anyway. But I'll just mention the benediction at the end. That person who recites these 12 auspicious holy names of the moon-like Nityananda Chandra every day upon arising in the morning, such a person becomes free from all difficulties and attains all their most cherished desires. Very soon they become the object of Lord Chaitanya Dev's mercy. So who wants this mercy? Who wants this benediction? Okay, not everyone. That's fine. So everyone who put your hands up, we'll recite those names now. And if you didn't want it, it's okay. You can just pass out for the next minute. It's okay. So let's all recite these 12 names and in that way become free from all difficulties and attain all our most cherished desires. Although it also says do it every day upon arising in the morning. But we'll do it now anyway. It's morning somewhere in the world. So you can repeat after me. It's projected as well. Nityanando vatudentur Vasudha prana valabha Janavi Jivitapati Krishna Prema Pradha Prabhu Padmavati Sutta Shriman Sachi Nandana Purvaja Pavanmato Jagatrata Rakta Gora Kalevaraha. Okay, so if we just do this every day, we'll become free from all difficulties and attain all our cherished desires. So, establishing this truth of Lord Chaitanya, I just wanted to set a foundation before we go into the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya is such a unique personality. His pastimes are also unique. To steal a phrase from a well-known quote and adapt it, all personalities are unique, but some are more unique than others. And that personality who's more unique than everyone else is Lord Nityananda. He's so hard to understand that it's not really about understanding it, it's just about relishing it. And so the first pastime we'll just go through is showing Lord Nityananda's trickery and his joking spirit. He's known as an avadut, which means his behavior is uncommon. It's also not to be imitated lightly. Like Lord Chaitanya's behavior, he set the role model for who we can not imitate, but whose example we should follow to practice devotional service. But Lord Nityananda, we can't really imitate him because he was so intoxicated, I'm using that word, figuratively. He was so intoxicated with love of Godhead that he would just do crazy things. And we'll discuss some of them now. But please, let's not misunderstand him as some sort of ordinary person, ordinary living entity. So, this first pastime is when Lord Nityananda tricked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to visit Advaita Acharya. This is just after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, but the devotees wanted to see him. So Lord Nityananda arranged this trick. He told some boys, if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks you about the path to Vrindavan, please show him the path on the bank of the Ganges instead. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 3rd chapter. So when the Lord asked Nityananda Prabhu how far it was to Vrindavan, when he, after seeing these boys, Lord Chaitanya eventually saw Nityananda Prabhu and said, how far is it to Vrindavan? And Nityananda replied, just see, here is the river Yamuna. And Lord Chaitanya was so excited, he jumped in. And then all of a sudden he sees Advaita Acharya appear and he's wondering, how is everyone in Vrindavan when, I was going there myself. And then when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realized that Lord Nityananda tricked him, Advaita Acharya said, whatever Nityananda Prabhu has told you is not false. You have indeed just now taken your bath in the river Yamuna. Because technically, that place is where the rivers meet. The left-hand side of the river is Yamuna, the right-hand side is the Ganga. And Advaita Acharya invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, you've been fasting continuously for 3 days. Come to my home, I've just cooked 1 palmful of rice and there's simple vegetables. So this he did to attract Lord Chaitanya to come, because as a sannyasi, he'll only come and eat simple foods. However, when they got there, they found there was another trick being played. There's, amongst the preparations were all sorts of things that I don't know what they are. Patolas, squash, manakachu, and a salad with ginger and spinach. Some of these we know. We've tasted shukta, bitter melon, a coconut pulp mixed with curd and rock candy. There's 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations. Moong dal, soft cakes made with ripe bananas. Urad dal, sweet meats, milk with rice cakes, and every kind of cake desirable. And there were hundreds of pots filled with all kinds of vegetables. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'm not going to eat so much food. It's not the duty of a sannyasi to leave remnants. And then Advaita Acharya said, by my great fortune you have come to my home. Please do not juggle words. Just begin eating and do not talk. And now we'll see the joking spirit of Lord Nityananda come out. Nityananda Prabhu said, I have undergone fasting for 3 days continuously. Today I had hoped to break my fast. Although I am invited to eat by Advaita Acharya, today also is a fast. So small a quantity of food will not fill even half my belly. He's saying this about the hundreds of pots there. So Advaita Acharya replied, I am a poor Brahman and you have come to my home. Please be satisfied with whatever little food you have received and give up your greedy mentality. Lord Nityananda Prabhu replied, whatever I may be, you have invited me. Therefore you must supply as much as I want to eat. Advaita Acharya said, you are a reject Paramahamsa and you have accepted the renounced order of life just to fill up your belly. I can understand that your business is to give trouble to Brahmanas. You can eat 10 to 20 manas of rice. I am a poor Brahmana. How shall I get so much rice? Whatever you have, though it be a palmful of rice, please eat it and get up. Don't show your madness and stow the remnants of food here and there. Just for info, 1 mana is 40 kgs. So 10 to 20 manas of rice is 400 to 800 kgs of rice. Is any devotees from Food for Life here? How much would 800 kgs feed? How many people? Definitely more than one, right? 10,000. Yeah, so Lord Nityananda, he's God, so he can do these things. Although I think I like to imitate this part of the Lord. Again, Nityananda Prabhu jokingly said, my belly is not yet filled up. Please take away your food. I have not taken the least of it. After saying this, Nityananda Prabhu took a handful of rice and threw it on the floor in front of him as if he were angry. When 2 or 4 pieces of the thrown rice touched his body, Advaita Acharya began to dance in various ways with the rice still stuck to his body. When the rice thrown by Nityananda Prabhu touched his body, Advaita Acharya thought himself purified by the touch of remnants thrown by Paramahamsa Nityananda. Therefore, he began dancing. So just getting these grains of rice touched by Lord Nityananda just sent Advaita Acharya into ecstasy. There's joking words from both sides here, and we must understand these are both forms of the Lord. Lord Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram, and Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. So they are allowed to have these sort of pastimes. So we are just so fortunate that we are exposed to pastimes like this. I mean, who else can say that they've heard of a pastime of 2 forms of the Supreme Lord insulting and joking with each other? You know, this is very, very intimate pastimes. And then obviously the pastime that's most relevant for us in particular regarding Lord Nityananda is the deliverance of Jagai and Madai. And this is elaborately given in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya Leela 13th chapter. So Lord Nityananda had this idea that let's save the most fallen person, and that's how we can glorify Lord Chaitanya the best. Because if you take the most fallen person and elevate them to the highest platform of being a devotee, being in pure love of God, that indicates to everyone the potency of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. And this is something that even we can understand, that, and we can see this as well with Prabhupada. When Prabhupada went to the West in the 1960s, a lot of the people that he spread Krishna consciousness to were really, well, I mean, I'm not saying they're the most fallen, And obviously, some of them now are like the most exalted people on the planet. But they were troubled, and they were addicted to drugs, and addicted to so many degrading habits. But look at the potency of this movement, that all of those people could be transformed so rapidly. And we can see that, there's so many drug rehabilitation centers, and people go in and they get clean and sober, and then they relapse and go back and forth and back and forth. But here, these personalities came to this movement and just transformed their lives completely. And it's a really amazing thing, even from a material perspective. So Lord Nityananda had this idea that let's approach the most fallen person and spread Krishna consciousness to them, ask them to chant Hare Krishna. So he was going up to everyone and saying, it's a famous Bengali saying, say Krishna, worship Krishna, chant Krishna's name. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, Krishna is your wealth and your life. Lord Krishna has now descended to this world to save all of you. Please give up your sins and worship Lord Krishna. And they came across some drunk people. And even he didn't obey the advice of his partner Haridas Thakur, and he was preaching to them. And they got severely chased. But luckily, being drunk and a bit out of it, they didn't get caught. And then Haridas Thakur describes this incident later to Advaita Acharya. Haridas Thakur says to Advaita Acharya, the Lord has sent me out with a very restless person. He says to me, I will go in this direction. In what direction will you go? Just for information, Haridas Thakur is a very, very old person. If you went out, as your Sankirtan partner with an old person and you told him, okay, I'm going this way, and which way are you going? It's a little bit against the etiquette there. And then he continues to describe Lord Nityananda. He swims in the crocodile-infested, monsoon-swollen Ganga to catch the crocodiles. Stealing butter and yogurt from a milkman, he flees. Seeing me, they grab me to give me a beating. Seeing a young girl, he says to her, will you marry me? He milks another's cow and drinks the milk. If I try to correct him, he says, what will your Advaita do to me? The master you call Chaitanya, what will he do to me? So he's a very, very colorful person to be around, and obviously a colorful person to tolerate, in other words. But to be in the presence of Nityananda, his name itself tells you, Nitya means eternal and Ananda means bliss. He is the personification of eternal bliss. So, but this is sometimes what eternal bliss looks like. Tolerating some, some ras, some transcendental mellow. And then he further describes to Advaita Acharya, Nityananda goes to two drunkards lying on the road and tries to teach them about Krishna. Then the drunkards chased us to kill us. So this is the mercy of Lord Nityananda, that he is trying to approach these two drunkards who, he went back to them. So he approached them once, they got chased away, but they luckily didn't get caught. Then they decided to go again. Well, not they decided, Lord Nityananda decided on behalf of Haridas Thakur. And then Madai, one of them, struck Lord Nityananda, but Jagai told him to stop. And as soon as this happened, Lord Chaitanya immediately appeared on the scene, ready to kill both of them, because the Lord knows what's going on everywhere. And Lord Nityananda is so dear to him. That's his eternal brother. So if you ever wanted to anger the Lord, just strike Lord Nityananda. But look at what Lord Nityananda replies. Lord, Madai wanted to hit me, But Jagai stopped him. Because of my past karma, some blood has fallen. I am not unhappy. Lord, please give to me the bodies of these two. I am not at all unhappy. Please be peaceful. And he's elaborating to the Lord that in this age, our mood is not to kill all the demonic people. And so please show them your mercy. And also, if you had to kill all the demonic people, you'd end up killing everyone in this age, because we all have some demonic tendencies in the heart. But the glories of this movement is that it's meant to elevate us spiritually. It's meant to take the demonic tendencies out from the heart. It's basically doing heart surgery. It's taking out the demonic tendencies from the heart and establishing our pure identity. And look at further what Lord Nityananda said. This is just something amazing. He says, whatever pious deeds I have performed in my past births, I give them all to Madai. So, this is someone who just struck him in the head and causing blood to fall. He was a bit of clay was thrown at his head, causing blood to pour. And he says, whatever pious deeds I have performed in my past births, I give them all to Madai. This is who Lord Nityananda is. He is that person that we can always approach, we can always turn to, no matter about our past, who we may have been in the past. He is the person that approaches the Lord on our behalf to give us mercy. So that's the relevance of Lord Nityananda for all of us. We might not have been as bad as Jagai and Madai, and they were really, really bad. They had committed all kinds of sins, murders, rapes. In fact, it said that the Chitragupta, who was Yamaraj's assistant, he was running out of space to note down all the sins that they were performing. But even though we might not be Jagai and Madai, we can identify somewhat with them. And that's why we can approach Lord Nityananda to petition the Lord on our behalf to please give us mercy. And I think that's just an amazing personality is. And then he embraced them, and they were immediately freed from material bondage by this embrace of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya embraced them. Actually, his body turned blackish by all the sins. So he took all the sins out of the Jagai and Madai. Now, that in itself is an amazing thing. So you got the most sinful people, and immediately all their sins, their reactions to them were just taken away. And they actually became great devotees. And it's a very important point that earlier on we were saying, Srila Prabhupada was saying how to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we need to approach Lord Nityananda. And to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we approach Jagai and Madai. And how do we get the mercy of Jagai and Madai? By delivering others who are like Jagai and Madai. So this is an impetus for us that if we want the mercy, we approach and we try and share Krishna consciousness with those who are similar to Jagai and Madai. So just to summarize what we looked at today is, we looked at Lord Nityananda's tattva, who is his position, some of the potency, the benefits of knowing that position, of hearing his names and reciting his names, knowing the benefits that can have in our lives. Of course, we mustn't be externally. Ideally, we should love Lord Nityananda for who he is, not for the benefit that he has in our life. Otherwise, then it's a little bit of like a bargaining relationship. But it gets us on the path to having a relationship with Lord Nityananda when we understand how much benefit he can have in our lives. And then we discussed Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's stay at the house of Advaita Acharya, mostly by the trickery of Lord Nityananda, and the real pastime which has a lot of relevance, especially for us, the deliverance of Jaga and Madai. And yes, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Are there any questions or comments? We got about a minute or so, I think, until Gaura Arati. But we can take a comment, a question, contribution. Yes, Rahul? That's actually a very, very important point, Rahul. Thank you for... I was actually... This completely blanked out from my head. I was supposed to mention this point, actually, that Lord Nityananda is especially relevant for everyone in ISKCON and for everyone aspiring to be a follower of Srila Prabhupada, because His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj tells of the time that they had a discussion with one of Prabhupada's senior godbrothers, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, who Prabhupada really respected and considered a pure devotee. And what Sridhar Maharaj said is that Prabhupada was empowered specifically by Lord Nityananda. We are aware that Prabhupada is a Shakya Vesh avatar, which means he's a jiva in the sense he's like you and me. He's not Vishnu Tattva, but he's been specifically empowered by the Lord, with the Lord's potencies. And that specific potency is by Lord Nityananda's potency. And thank you for bringing up that point, Prabhu. That's a very important point. So we can observe Gaura Arati now. Thank you very much for tolerating. And yes, please forgive any shortcomings. And don't worry, we'll have Gaura Arati to pick you up now, and some light prasad as well. So you leave in a happy spirit. Don't worry. You can wake up now. Hare Krishna.
So, thank you so much, Prabhu, for that wonderful presentation. It was wonderful, wasn't it? It's definitely deepened our appreciation for Lord Nityananda, and it's helped us to understand our relationship with him so much better. Now we'll rise for Gaura Arti, and then after that, there will be light prasadam served in the foyer. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Nityananda Ram ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you all so much for attending tonight. Hare Krishna.
Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai. Kiba. Kiba jaya ora chande aratika soba Jam Navita Tabane Jagamana Loba Janavita Tabane Jagamana Loba Janavi Yakin Nitai Chan Bamega Dadara Yakin Nikai Te Advaita Srini Asa Chatradara Nikai Te Osi Ache Korachan Ratna Simasane Bosi Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Korena Narari Adi Kori Chamara Dulara Nara Adi Kori Chamara Dulara Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Kosari Gaya Sanjaya Mukunda Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Karatala Shankha Bhaje Ganta Madhura Mirdanga Bhaje Paramarasala Madhura Paramarasala Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Madhur 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 Bhaje Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora Nitya Gora Haribol, 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 Gora Haribol. Bahu Koti Chandrajini Badana Ujvala Bahu Koti Chandrajini Badana Ujvala Kala Dese Bana Mala Pure Jalamala Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Shiva Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gorara Sampada Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gorara Sampada Korange Aratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba Korange Aratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba Korange Aratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba 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 Nitya Gora Haribol, Haribol, Haribol Gora Haribol Nitya Nitya Gora Haribol, 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 Gora Haribol, Nitya Gora Haribol. Nitya Gora Haribol, 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 Gora Haribol. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namo Srimate Bhakti Swami Tinamine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschattarashatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Jaya Radha, Radha Nata, Radha Radha Nata, Radha. Jaya Radha, Radha Nata. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Nitya Gaur Haribol, 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 Gora Haribol, Nitya Gaur Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Nitya Gaur Haribol, 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 Gora Haribol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya. Shri Radha Radhanath ki.
That's right. Namaste Narasimhaya. Bolo. Namaste Narasimhaya. नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाद दायिने हिरण्याकाशी पूर्वक्षः श्रीलतं कानकालाय इतोन शृंगो परतोन शृंगो यतो यतो यामि ततोन शृंगो बाहिर निशृंगो मेरा रे निशृंगो नरसिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपदे नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाद दायिने हिरण्याकाशी पूर्वक्षः श्रीलतं कानकालाय इतोन शृंगो परतोन शृंगो यतो यतो यामि ततोन शृंगो बाहिर निशृंगो मेरा रे निशृंगो नरसिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नतमद्भुत शृंगा दालिता हिरण्यकशिपुर्तनो भृंगा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश तव करकमलवरे नतमद्भुत शृंगा दालिता हिरण्य केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जग केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरि केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशव जय जगदीश जय जगदीश जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश जय जगदीश जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय भक्त प्रहलाद भक्त प्रहलाद भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय नित्यानंद राम, नित्यानंद राम, नित्यानंद राम, जय नित्यानंद राम जय। जय निताय गौरा हरि, निताय गौरा हरि गौरा हरि। जय निताय गौर सुंदर, निताय गौर सुंदर, गौरा सुंदर। निताय गौरा हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल। निताय गौरा हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 प्रभुपाद। श्री श्री राधा रघुनाथ की, गिरिराज गोवर्धन महाराज की, चैतन्य महाप्रभु की, श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, श्री श्री पंचतत्व की, नृसिंहदेव भगवान की, भक्त श्रेष्ठ प्रहलाद महाराज की, शीला प्रभुपाद की, ताई गौर प्रेमानंदी।